Hey guys, Jessica here. So today we're going to talk about how can we use the magic number tool for pumping parents to help increase the milk supply. So one of the most common reasons that people come in to see me aside from franchising and brow fit and wearables is that the milk supply has dropped and they're not sure what to do about it. And they're trying generalized advice that's out there, but oftentimes it lacks the nuanced ability to actually address their problems. And that can be for one of two reasons. One, we may still be mismanaging the milk supply even if you're putting the work in. And when I say mismanaging the milk supply, I mean we're not getting the right stimulation. It means either we're nursing a baby with oral dysfunction and we don't know it. This is extremely common, especially we're seeing an increase in it as more and more people are turning to hospital clinics again. Most of those clinics are not actually qualified to do the proper oral assessment. So your baby goes to the lactation consultant and they tell you the latch looks great, or they tell you the baby has a mild tongue tie, or they only look for a tongue tie when there's 12 to 15 other reasons your baby could be dealing with oral dysfunction. If those issues are not properly addressed, you can be nursing your baby and your baby may not be transferring. Your baby may not be stimulating the milk supply the way they need to be. Your pumping setup may just be wrong in terms of you may be using the wrong pump, the wrong settings, the wrong flange size, the wrong bra fit. You name it with pumping, it can go wrong. You may be overusing a wearable. Maybe you're somebody whose supply is very sensitive to a wearable, in which case you're getting 80% of the output you could get with a traditional flange. There's a lot of things that can be going on with your milk supply. But the idea of the magic number is this really popular tool. Nancy Moorbacher is the IBCLC who came up with this in the book Breastfeeding Answers Made Simple. I love this tool. What this tool does is help moms to understand why their supply decreased and how they can drive it back up. This tool was actually designed for nursing moms who had gone back to work and then, the amount of stimulation they were getting decreased. And oftentimes these moms didn't actually know kind of what their milk supply was because it was enough for baby before they went back to work. So they maybe didn't understand that, hey, your baby is nursing more often than average because you have a smaller storage capacity. And storage capacity is this fun little concept, which it's our only way to quantify like how much milk the breast can actually hold. Because if you have a small storage capacity, in order to generate the supply, you have to empty the breast to signal milk production more frequently than somebody that has a larger storage capacity. The problem is that when pumping parents are trying to use this tool, they're often trying to use historic data. So I just had a consult last week, which is actually the whole idea behind this video here. And she was really confused because she was like, I don't understand. She had found a blog that I wrote years ago on the magic number and milk supply. And she said, when I was 2 weeks postpartum, I slept through the night one night. And then when I got up and pumped, I got 12 ounces. So I have a great storage capacity. And then she proceeded to manage her milk supply using these rules, except her milk supply dropped over time because your storage capacity doesn't really apply to this situation the way that you think it does because the tool was never really designed for pumping parents. It was designed for a nursing parent who was only pumping while separated from their baby at work. So sometimes the tool doesn't apply quite appropriately. She was also 6 months postpartum and trying to apply an amount that she got when she was 2 weeks postpartum. I don't find that that is highly successful. So what I have found with this tool is that if I take the number, the maximum combined output you have gotten pumping between left and right in the last 21 days, so the last 3 weeks, going no more than 6 hours, if that is what we use as your storage capacity, then that is what I am seeing. We can apply this rule, and as long as there is no underlying health concern, we can quickly drive the supply in the direction we want, either up or down in most cases. Down is a little bit harder, especially if you're on the larger end, because if you are going longer stretches and making a lot of milk, we tend to have an underlying health concern. With low supply, what's important to know is that there are still moms that have an underlying condition that's inhibiting their ability to make milk. So if you use this tool and you are properly applying it, we've properly assessed baby's latch, we know the baby's nursing efficiently, we're managing the milk supply, we're managing baby's intake to make sure that they have the energy to actually drive the supply. We've optimized the pump setup, we've watched this over the course of 7 to 14 days, and we're still not getting the results we want. Then it's time to go get lab work from your doctor. And you need a full lactation lab work panel, not your doctor saying, well, we ran 3 tests and we don't know what they mean, so we can't help you. you need to be working with a skilled lactation consultant. So here's what I have for you for today. So I turned this idea of this rule into this tool. It is a calculator. I'm going to link it below. It goes to a blog. There's also going to be a link to the original magic number blog so that you can see what this tool was designed to use for, get more information about it. You're going to have the blog that helps you determine how you need to pump or nurse in order to influence the milk supply in the direction that you want it to go in. And then I'm also going to include a list of competent pump friendly LCs, because while I would love to tell you that I am the best of the best, I am one of the best, but I have a lot of colleagues out there that are absolutely phenomenal, and I'm going to list them below because I'm only one person and I have a team that it's two of us. We can't help all the moms out there that are struggling, but I am going to list this handful of lactation consultants that I trust to be absolutely phenomenal. I trust them with your milk supply. So I'm going to list them below because if you're having trouble, you probably want to get with them. And I'm going to list who you need to see if you are combination feeding, which means you are nursing and pumping, who you should see if you're exclusively pumping, because some LCs do not specialize in latching. There is actually one that I absolutely adore who she specializes exclusively in pumping. She actually doesn't even assess latch, to my understanding. She's amazing with breast pumps. But you need to know who you're going to in order to be able to pick the person that's right for you. And I'm going to give you clear, concise steps by just you putting into this calculator how much is that maximum output you've gotten combined, so left and right, in the last 3 weeks or the last 21 days, going no more than 6 hours between pumping, and that's going to tell us how often you need to pump. Now, if you're somebody who's getting really small amounts, what that means is there's likely something really serious going on. Either we've really applied the wrong pressure to the milk supply or we have an underlying issue. So this calculator is going to tell you that you need to be pumping more than 8 times a day, or you need to be nursing and pumping more than 8 times a day, which sounds really overwhelming, and I get that. As somebody who's been there and has had to be nursing and pumping 12 to 15 times a day to drive supply and still had a low supply, I get how frustrating and overwhelming that can be. We can create a plan that makes that possible. But that is something that, a skilled lactation consultant is going to be able to sit you down and say, look, okay, here's what I think we need to do with a full understanding of, if you pump for 15 minutes, how much do you get? Is 15 minutes going to be enough if we do it 12 times a day? Do we have an opportunity to cluster pumps at different times a day? Do we have the option to have you do hands-on pumping for the most efficient emptying for 15 minutes and then pop a wearable in for the last 15 minutes of the session to help generate that demand on an empty breast while not overwhelming your overall schedule? We can come up with ways to help you make this work if this is what you want to do. So I'm going to link all of this below. I really hope this tool helps people. I know this is a really complicated situation. I don't wish low supply on anybody. It's such a frustrating thing to have happen, and there's so many myths and misconceptions that make it really hard for moms to figure out what to do. And I want to help make that a little bit easier, especially as we're going into the holiday season this year. The holiday season wreaks havoc on milk supplies because moms get distracted. They're busy. You have family around, which can be a good thing, except if family is holding the baby and keeping the baby away from you and you were supposed to be nursing, then that actually extends the time period between emptying the breast, and that can damage your milk supply. So I will also link below our class that we did last year on managing your milk supply during the holidays. It's still available in the free Genuine Lactation On Demand program. So all of that is going to be linked below. I hope this helps somebody. Please protect your milk supplies out there for the holiday. If you're going into the holidays with your milk supply already being a little vulnerable, take the time and look at this magic number tool and make sure you have a plan for how you're going to be able to maintain or improve your milk supply during the holidays. You absolutely can do it. I know you can. I have faith in you. So if you need help, reach out now because people get booked up really fast for the holidays, and unfortunately, it is really hard to get in with a good lactation consultant if you wait until, mid-December or after the new year when things have already gone bad because of this situation, because we'll have a huge number of moms in the same position. So hopefully this tool helps, and if you have any questions, let me know. Happy pumping.